Man, it's Loki Locker, and today I'm going to be explaining to you who is the best stylistic matchup for Ilia Topuria in the featherweight division, man. This is going to be very, very interesting. We're going to get straight into this shit, man. We're going to get straight to it, man. For one, man, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know who I personally believe is the best stylistic matchup for Ilia Topuria, regardless of what y'all feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's that boy DIEGO Lopes, man. It's either Diego or Mavsar, but I'm going to go Diego because Diego has a way higher finish percentage than Mavsar Evloev. Actually, Mavsar Evloev has 0% finishes in the UFC. 0% finishes in the UFC. 0%. Let me stop playing. But anyways, man. Yeah, man. DIEGO Lopes is a much more competitive fight than Volkanovski and Max Holloway for Ilia Topuria because of his ability to mix it up, because he possesses KO power in his hands, because he has a submission game that has been proven and tested in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Because he's threatening in a lot of areas. You know what I'm saying? He's threatening in more areas than just one. You know what I'm saying? Max Holloway, you know, we know that we're not going to get too much more out of Max Holloway than boxing. We know we're not going to get too much more out of Volk than boxing and maybe some wrestling. We know that he's not a finisher in the wrestling department. We know that he's not a finisher really that much on the hands. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have KO power like that. He doesn't have KO power like how DIEGO Lopes has it. Granted, DIEGO Lopes' cardio is significantly worse than Max Holloway and Volkanovski's, and his striking is not as good as Volkanovski and Max Holloway's. But he has more physical attributes than these guys. You know what I'm saying? He's very big for that weight class. He has a reach advantage over Ilia Topuria. He has the grappling advantage over Ilia Topuria, I would argue. I mean, he's a second-degree black belt. You know, he's very accomplished in the UFC. I believe that if he manages to use his skill set in the correct manner and he uses it in a smart way and doesn't go out there with zero IQ like Michael Chandler, I feel like he can make this a very interesting fight. You know what I'm saying? The thing about DIEGO Lopes, though, is he gets hit and his cardio is not that good. But nobody really makes it that deep with Ilia Topuria in the first place. So, you know, most people, their best bet is to knock Ilia Topuria out within the first 2 or 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't seen him against a decent boxer. Well, we haven't seen him against somebody who can knock him out other than Josh Emmett. And you know what I'm saying? Josh Emmett was just significantly worse on the feet than DIEGO Lopes, man. And DIEGO Lopes, he does a very good job at dirty boxing. In the clinch, you know what I'm saying? Ilia's going to go in there. He's going to try to go in there and, you know, just straight up box. He's going to get his head pulled down into an uppercut, all of that shit. But at the same time, I could see him doing that and then Ilia Topuria catching him on the exit because sometimes his exits aren't the best. As soon as he, you know what I'm saying, he might do all that and get caught on the exit with a left or a right hook. But Diego has a mean chin on him. You know what I'm saying? He can definitely hurt Ilia Topuria. He can hurt him. I promise he can. You know what I'm saying? He's got good kicks. You know what I'm saying? He's got good versatility on the feet. He's got a very well-rounded ground game. He can wrestle. He has good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He can flow. He can avoid getting submitted. You know what I'm saying? The last time we seen Ilia Topuria against guys that could wrestle or grapple or had submission threat, he did knock those 2 people out, actually. That was where Yusuf Zalal and Bryce Mitchell. He submitted Bryce Mitchell, but he didn't knock him out. Want to know why he didn't knock him out? It was significantly more challenging once you cross the distance because it's a lot of things that can happen. It presents a level of danger. A level of danger when it comes to getting close. Okay, God, I can get close to this guy, but how close do I want to be because he can wrestle and he can possibly submit me? How close do I want to be because he has power, he can knock me out too. You know what I'm saying? That's the big difference between a guy like Ilia Topuria fighting Max or Volkanovski. The ability to mix it up on the feet. The ability to make this an MMA fight. You know what I'm saying? Granted, they say Ilia Topuria had some amazing takedown defense, but I didn't see it in that Bryce Mitchell fight. He got held down for the rest of the round once Bryce Mitchell got him on the ground. But that's Bryce Mitchell. Granted, Bryce Mitchell is one of the better, you know, grapplers in the UFC right now. And he is tremendous off of his back and on top of you. You know what I'm saying? He's very good in all of those areas and aspects right there. But I personally feel like DIEGO Lopes is just a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? DIEGO Lopes is the more rounded fighter out of all of those guys that, out of all those guys that Ilia Topuria fought, he's the most well-rounded. He is. He's the most well-rounded in the finishing aspect. He could knock you out. He could submit you. I know I said that a million times, but you know what I'm saying? Think of a guy in his career that he's fought so far that can knock you out and submit you. 0 people, other than maybe Max Holloway. Max Holloway isn't as high Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as You know what I'm saying? A guy like DIEGO Lopes, and a lot of people don't even know that Max Holloway can submit anybody. But, you know, we've seen it back in his early career. But, you know what I'm saying? That's just something people don't really know that much of Max Holloway. But I would say, arguably, if he goes out there, he could end up finishing Ilia Topuria within the first 3 rounds. But if he doesn't, he gets brutally knocked out in the 4th and 5th, or the 3rd possibly, you know what I'm saying? I personally believe that Ilia Topuria will still win this fight, but I believe that stylistically, as far as threatening, this is the most threatening matchup for Ilia Topuria on paper. On paper, because DIEGO Lopes is the stronger man, he's the bigger man, he has a reach advantage, he has the grappling advantage. Usually people don't have the grappling advantage over Ilia Topuria, but he does. He has power that he can, you know what I'm saying, that Ilia Topuria needs to respect. And he's got a lot of ways to mix this up and make it a mixed martial arts. I know I keep reiterating it, but I'm just trying to help those who don't understand things very easily the first time. Anyways, with that being said, man, what y'all believe, man? Do y'all think that Ilia Topuria has no competition at featherweight? Do you believe that DIEGO Lopes is the best competition that he will face at featherweight? Do you believe it's Movsar's non-finishing ass that was going to go out there and beat Ilia Topuria? What do y'all want to know? What do y'all think? You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned, man. We're going to be back. When we see this fight, I'm going to come back. I'm going to see. Maybe Ilia Topuria knocks him out, most likely. But maybe he might get knocked out. I know I sound like I'm rambling. But it's New Year's, and I'm drunk. Anyways, with that being said, man, we out of this motherfucker, yo. Real shit.